How's it, guys? Welcome back to SoccerBeat. It's me and Tsepo Masilela back here again. This time we are chatting about AmaZulu versus Kaizer Chiefs. Chiefs obviously off to winning ways in their first game. AmaZulu struggled against Polokwane away from home, goalkeeper error. So they'll be under a bit of pressure, especially at home now. But Kaizer Chiefs fans very, very excited after their first win. And now they're taking their next games in Durban, where they have a lot of support. Tips. Chiefs fans are getting very happy and very excited about this new Nabi Kaizer Chiefs.
Yes, after especially that first game and the results, it helped for Nabi and his team, and the fans are buzzing. They're waiting for the second game. They anticipated two out of two.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that'll take their their excitement to the next level. In terms of their midfield, that's the one part that I wasn't too convinced by in their last game. The combo of Zwane and Morton in the middle. How much do they need Blom to get into that midfield and start making them tick?
Yeah, as you say, that was the only concerning area, and obviously maybe up front with scoring goals, but they do need that Blom. The boy, he masters that position. He's a natural six, a holding midfielder. So I don't know why he didn't play in the first game. Maybe because of paperwork and But I would assume everything is ready by now, and hopefully we'll get to see him tomorrow start.
Yeah. What do you make of Zwane in the midfield? I've seen some really brilliant things. He's really good on the ball. But then there's just sometimes he makes a couple careless errors, or he's maybe not as destructive in the midfield and in terms of winning the ball back and stuff. I don't know. There's just something missing there. I think he's got a lot of potential. I just don't know. He's not the complete package for me yet.
Yeah, I also like the boy, Mike. There's glimpses. When you watch him play, there's glimpses where you feel like this boy is going far. But obviously, he's still young and learning. And yeah, man, I believe he's an eight. But again, as
Yeah.
you say, there's something missing. Maybe he's an eight, not an eight with lots of energy, like a box to box eight. Because in modern days, when you speak about the number eight, you want someone who's got the engine, the capacity, to
Mm,
to run
yeah.
to run and cover both boxes. So I think that's the only thing that's missing in his game. If you're saying he's an eight, does it create opportunities? Like, does it take shots outside the box? So does he have box entries in the opponent's box? So that's
Yeah.
what's missing for me.
Yeah. He's not that like an athletic,
That
like,
aggression.
yeah.
Yes, that
Mm.
aggression when he goes forward. So, but I
He's
do
not
like the boy.
that athletic number eight like a Steven
Like
Gerrard that's
him.
bursting box to box. He reminds me actually a little bit
Hmm.
of Maino from Man United. He's got that sort of
Yes.
like he's very good on the ball, very good on the half
Yes.
turn, playing in the pockets, but not necessarily a goal scorer and not necessarily a destroyer in the midfield. So it's a very unique position, and I don't know if Kaizer Chiefs have the luxury of playing with somebody who's just a ball player.
Yeah, that's a big one, because if they're gonna have Blom sitting and you have an eight that doesn't really, help in the attack, then it's more like you're playing square with two sixes, and it can be a problem in terms of getting goals or creating goals for the strikers.
Yeah. No, look, I like him. I think he does have potential. I hope he can realize that potential and they can find the correct position for him, because I think he could be an asset to South African football if they find the right position for him. Then, in terms of the attacking side of things, I think we all know Kaizer Chiefs were chasing a couple wingers in the transfer market. My teammate Veli and then obviously Oswin Appollis as well, and they didn't end up getting either of them. Do you think they'll be short in those areas now without getting bringing them in now in the transfer window?
Yeah, especially Appollis. I think if they manage to sign Appollis, that was going to be a massive signing for them and to boost their attack. As we discussed before, he's a winger with goals and assists. But listen, they still have other guys like Pule Modi, who hasn't featured much under Nabi, and they still have Potani, the one that joined from Royal Air. So maybe also they waiting in the wing for their chance, and maybe it's good. It's an opportunity for them since they didn't really get, maybe the other targets, the players that they targeted. So it's an opportunity for them to raise their hands and be counted.
Yeah, I definitely think not great to miss out on Appollis. I think he's the one guy that would have really elevated Chiefs a Bafana international, somebody who's got potentially 5 to 10 goals in him as well this season. I think that would have really, then I would have started talking about Kaizer Chiefs top 3, top 4 for sure. When you add that guy to the mix. So I think they're missing out on Appollis, I think, is a big one. But we'll have to see if the other guys can step up and add some goals to the mix there, because as we mentioned in previous videos, they are short of goals at the moment.
Yeah.
Where do you think their main attacking threat's going to come from that front 2 or 3?
After the game we watched against Marumo, it's obvious that the threat is Sirino. He's the one that makes them tick going forward, and everything that's going to the attack, it goes through Sirino, because his decision making on the ball, it was brilliant on the day, and the number of forward passes he played, to the strikers, that was quite impressive. So I would still say the go-to man is Sirino. And obviously, with Fundo Shabalala getting that goal, it's a confidence booster, and hopefully can build from there. And yeah, I also like the boy. I like how he breaks the line every time. Ranga dropped deep, he was the one looking to run beyond the defenders and go behind. And that's how he scored the goal actually. So those two players will be key.
Yeah, Flip, I played against him last game of last season, and every single time he got the ball, he was looking to combine and run in behind me all the time. Which,
Yes.
and Tip, I'm definitely not the fastest I can evolve. So every time I almost had to give myself like 2 meters, because I was like, I know exactly what he's trying to do. Yeah, he's going to bounce it and try to run in behind me. So at least we're playing 3 at the back, so I had my centre back very close behind me, covering me. So yeah, but he was tricky. So yeah, I think he's also going to be special. And that finish, man, that was like one of the better finishes I've seen in South Africa in a while.
That was class.
Yeah, Tips, quickly, let's go to the ad break. We'll give Betway a chance to tell us what they're all about, and we'll be back in a couple.
You see, it was this game that turned boys into giants. Even today's aces inherited the name from those who came before. Usabutha lomlilo, buzawabaziyo, bazokutshela, lisegazini, forever.
And we're back. SoccerBeat, guys. Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe. We have all the social media platforms. Follow us on TikTok, on Facebook. That's where you get all the clips that we have from these great interviews and previews and reviews. So make sure you're checking us out on all those social media platforms. Tips. Obviously, this is a big game for Chiefs against AmaZulu, but they obviously have the one around the corner on the weekend against Sundowns. Does Nabi have a squad that he can afford to rest anybody in this AmaZulu game, with that Sundowns game hanging over his shoulder on the weekend?
No, I don't think he's got the depth, and it's still early on. Listen, if you win your 2 games and you go to Sundowns with 2 wins, you can afford to go for a draw or play a draw in that game, Mikey, to be honest. Looking at the Sundowns team, the defending champions, he doesn't really have the squad to rest or rotate right now, and it's still early on. They're still trying to find the combinations and, getting used to one another, and the style of play or the philosophy of the coach. I don't think he's looking at, rotating right now.
Yeah. Look, I think Chiefs fans will probably want to win the Sundowns game more. But if I'm looking at it as an outsider, I'm thinking the more important game for them is actually the AmaZulu game.
Exactly.
Because let's be honest, Sundowns is just maybe on another level at the moment. And AmaZulu are the type of teams that the Chiefs that we know and we hope to see should be beating teams like AmaZulu. So I'm looking at this AmaZulu game thinking that this is a game that you would think is actually more important for Chiefs right now.
Correct. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah. So look, I mean, obviously the Chiefs fans will want to get something over Sundowns, but I definitely think that they should be going all out on this AmaZulu game and then trying to steal something on against Sundowns, a draw or something, and that'll be a good return for Nabi straight out the gate. Then to jump quickly to AmaZulu, our former club, Tips, Hebe, Usuthu, you know.
Usuthu.
Yo, what have you made of their signings? What do you make of their look of their side going into this season?
I like especially Gadoro, the striker, the one they got from Sundowns. Obviously, last season was at Supersport. He's more of a aggressive striker. Aerial is good. As you saw his first goal for AmaZulu, it was through a cross from Hanabu and header. So he brings that firepower up front to bully defenders and to keep them busy. So I like Igadoro, but yeah, they've made a couple of signings. And Pewa, your former teammate, I also like the boy. I think he's got football brains and the goals he scores. So we didn't see him in the first game. I think he didn't play. Like, I'm still waiting for him. I'm not sure if he's
I think
fully
he had
fit.
an injury definitely with us at the back end of last season. So we actually missed him for the last. So I don't know how long it's going to take for him to come back, but he's got a goal in him. He's got an eye for goal. Very, very good strike on him as well. And I think he should do well at AmaZulu. The one thing that I felt, especially when we played against them last season as well, I felt they play with a back three, and it to me feels quite like quite a negative approach. They're quite defensive in their approach, and I find that they struggle to come out. They don't create that many chances. So yes, they're solid, but I don't look at them as a team that's ever really going to beat somebody 2-3-0. It's always like they're sneaking one here, sneaking one there. That's just the way I feel about them. I don't know how much you've watched them, Tips, but I look at them as quite defensively very sound, but I don't look at them as a team that's really going to dominate teams.
Yeah, especially last season, Mike. I also felt that way, that they don't create much chances. They only try risk after going a goal down or trailing, chasing the game. That's when they push forward with aggression, and you see a team that's playing on the front foot, looking to get a goal. But their first game of the season against Polokwane, I think they played 4 at the back. They changed the shape from the last season shape. So I don't know how they're going to go against Chiefs, because obviously Chiefs is a big team and it's a massive game for them.
Yeah. Now, if you're only going to try set up quite defensively, your goalkeeper becomes very, very important. And obviously, their main man is struggling with a bit of form at the moment. I think it's been well documented over the last, obviously, the Bafana game, and then the mistake against Polokwane as well, Veli. And it looks like they've just brought in Richard Ofori as backup now. Who do you think plays against Chiefs?
I think Veli still plays. As a keeper, you need such games to regain your confidence. If you come out of this game, having kept a clean sheet, it's a confidence booster, and they can't really give up on Veli right now. Still early on, and it's part of the Bafana setup. But yeah, it's nice to have competition. Ofori signed for AmaZulu, and they still have the young Olwe who did well last season when he got the opportunity. So, maybe they felt that they needed more competition in that department to shake Veli up a bit.
Yeah. I want to ask you one more question, Tips, but before we do that, we're going to go to the last ad break, and then I'll catch you with the question to end off the show.
Betway is giving customers a chance to win big with their 4 to score free weekly prediction. Simply predict the first teams to score in 4 Betway Premiership matches, and you could win 50,000 Rand. Scan the QR code on screen now to enter. Get way more with Betway. Standard T's and C's apply.
And we're back, and I got one more question for you, Tips. The one you actually mentioned it to me before the show, and I thought we had to talk about it, is the fact that Vilakazi from Richards Bay, the head coach, that walked out of the Richards Bay, obviously took the MDC job at AmaZulu, and he had an interesting thing to say in a press conference recently. Do you want to just tell me what he said?
No, I think he mentioned something like he's not gonna be staying for long at that MDC team. He's just there to help and improve the players, but he's not gonna be staying there for long. So I don't know what that means. It means he's got one eye. He's got one eye on Pablo's job. But you know how these things are, Mikey.
Hey, in South Africa, the technical director or the assistant coach or whatever, when they appoint him, then you always have to start. Checking over your shoulder. Yeah.
Over your shoulder, what's happening now? But obviously, Vilakazi He was with Arrows, he went to Chipa, he went to Richards Bay. So, I would assume he still wants to coach in the PSL. He's still a young coach, ambitious coach. And I'm not saying he's going to take Pablo's job, but I would think if the opportunity is there, we'd grab it.
Yeah.
So
you think that there won't be anyone going on special leave anytime soon?
It's still early. Let's revisit this talk after 8-10 games. I'll tell you that.
Okay, Tess, before we go, you gotta give me your Chiefs prediction. Chiefs AmaZulu, give me your prediction.
2-1 Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah, the AmaZulu player in me wants to say that they'll get something out of this game, but I think Moses Mabhida is going to be packed, and the Chiefs fans are going to be really excited about this one. And I think a 1-0 for Chiefs for me. So that's us at SoccerBeat, guys. Thanks for joining us for another one, and we'll catch you in the next one. Tips, sign the guys out.
Mike. It's a give and take.
Cool, guys. We'll see you guys in the next one.